Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, I mean, Legion of Doom,
Actually, this is the Justice Satellite.
Yeah.
Not even that.
Chapter 4,
it's the
Green Lantern.
base.
Justice League with a satellite.
Two universes.
I mean, that's basically the Watchtower. It's just a glorified satellite to some degree.
Oh god, Al, what's wrong with your face? Let me see who voices the Guardians of the...
Okay, is it me, or does this guy's voice not match his appearance?
We already mentioned that a couple of parts ago, yes. His voice actor is a literal who did not that much of a career, so we don't even know why.
No one. More pathetic than the Gotham City Museum.
We escaped using their
Sounds like she's going for an Eartha Kitt impression.
Why she tries to sound like an actual cat?
Like I said, dude, that she's going for an Eartha Kitt impression by the sounds of it.
Who's Eartha Kitt?
She was like the third
Wait.
in the 60s
You seriously
show.
don't know about Eartha Kitt? Dang.
Wait, oh, that was the 60s Batman?
Yeah.
Basically, she was the African American.
I don't know the casting names besides Adam West.
Basically, Dedge, Eartha Kitt was the African American Catwoman. Still the same character, but whatnot. And yes, she is also the woman who voices Yzma, so yeah, you can get the joke in that
But
now.
now Lex Luthor gets even possessed by the... You know, writers, you didn't really need to have Lex Luthor being possessed by the Rage. He's a bit of a dick on his own anyway.
No, the thing is, Lex Luthor has willpower.
That's the thing, Tio. Lex Luthor probably wouldn't have just blindly have attacked Green Lantern without the Rage in this regard here and there, given what's going on.
Especially on his own turf. Anyway, let me see. Okay, only two voice actors are created for the Guardians, so I guess they split between them. Joe Thomas, who's also the voice actor for both Lex Luthor and Shazam. And Christopher Corey Smith, who's also the voice actor for Superman in this game. So again, a bit of saving costs.
What's your thoughts on Green Lantern?
I prefer Kyle Rayner in general. But I really love the mythos in general, particularly the one that Geoff Johns, introduced after. I think it was after Infinite Crisis. I think.
From what I recall, other than this, I've only ever seen Green Lantern in one of those DC animated films.
Yeah, you saw First Flight with us, Dweebs.
My favorite is
The New Frontier.
And the live action movie.
No, that's not my favorite. My favorite one is Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
One
already
who probably
made,
a whole generation are probably familiar with thanks to the TV shows and whatnot.
Dej.
Yeah.
What about the other color spectrum or lanterns? Or what is your favorite among them, if you know them?
Okay, so this is just my experience with the Green Lantern animated show. I really like the idea of the Red Lanterns.
The Rage, yeah.
Yeah, the Rage, and it's like, oh, if you take it off, you die.
Yeah. Did that, since I couldn't actually watch that much of it, did that show cover also Deathstar?
I think so.
Well,
that show got screwed, because it was really good.
Oh god, did they move all three models at once? That's terrible.
Infecting your very substance with rage. The moment we can control.
Isn't that do they all talk in unison?
No.
No.
Then we'll stop it.
We might as well, well, considering their pompous dicks.
Energies throughout will be
By the way, why do you sound like you're 50 even though you look like you're 30?
Or remain intact. Nor will any other
It's a matter of perspective on your part, I guess.
Neither universe will survive. Why is this happening? We are uncertain of the
But yeah, like I said before, when it comes to Green Lantern, okay, so the way DC handles Green Lantern is a bit weird these days. As me and Tio have mentioned countlessly, yes, DC have felt that they needed to make it up to Hal Jordan for just the parallax stuff in general. Unfortunately, it feels like they've overcompensated it by making that suddenly only he can be the Green Lantern we focus on at the expense of Jon Stewart and Kyle Rayner, unfortunately.
It seems like a common thing, Jova, because even The Flash has happened like that as soon as Barry Allen returned.
Oh, God,
anyway,
yeah.
Extra charge. Why not?
That is the thing about Barry Allen, though. At least with Barry Allen, most people were fine with him being dead. Like, Hal Jordan, I get. Like, Hal just got absolute crap. Barry at least got an awesome death that was very helpful in the Battle of Crisis on Infinite Earths. But Hal? Yeah, just Hal got screwed bad.
Wee.
Well, I mean,
I
it was
do
the
hope
last
that
City
event-
movie, so yeah.
Oh
Trust
man,
me,
what happened to the LexCorp Palace?
Dwibs, trust me, Dwibs, that movie was the least of Hal's problems.
If I were you, Catwoman, I wouldn't turn my back on him.
I can take care of myself.
Hey.
She really does sound like she's trying.
And that's how the scene ends. Alright then, moving on.
Alright then.
She really does sound like she's going for an Eartha Kitt impression. It's weird.
I haven't gotten to that point of the 60s Batman.
Also, another thing that I noticed, Lex's armor has literal small L's on the borders of his collar. That's stupid and
he's just
perfectly character.
he lives of how he walks how he lives, taking L's.
When does Eartha Kitt show up? Season 3?
Season 3, yeah.
So what's the plan?
Honestly, Eartha Kitt is pretty awesome as Catwoman, I'll give her that. Like, and ironically enough, Eartha Kitt was one of the Catwoman that people remembered more here and there too, funnily enough. Almost to the point where she's the Catwoman people recognize more from the 60s show, aside from the other two actresses.
Oh, there's Drax.
I remember when this happened on the Mortal Kombat side.
But what? Is he possessed?
No, he doesn't have rage yet.
No, because his voice was like...
Yeah, it did sound like he was supposed to be filled with the rage, but he didn't have his eyes glowing. So I don't know.
Weird.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's a faint tail. The
Crotch, you jerk!
the eyes don't.
A buzzsaw, no less.
Well, it's a faint tail. When they're possessed by the rage, their eyes don't go yellow 24/7. Like it's mostly only
No,
like.
when transition into the actual match, I get it, but in the cutscenes they do. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they forgot it cutscene wise.
I don't know.
Ah, whatever.
Ooh.
Die. Oh, I know that we can't do that.
So
But
Tia,
Yes.
which do you prefer, Rage or X Factor?
Yeah, okay, the rage mechanic is simple, so but a bit primitive. X Factor is a bit more complex and, you know, exploitable in different ways, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Come on, Jax. Come to
Poor
your
Jax.
senses.
But yeah, I really do hope that word about that new Green Lantern movie is true about it
Beware my
focusing
power.
on, you know, both Hal and Jon Stewart from what they suggest.
Oh, right, you mean the DCU one? Because again, they also announced
the DCU one.
Yeah, they did announce the new animated one. Remember, Beware My Power, but we don't know what's gonna be about.
And I was talking about the upcoming live action.
Cutscene.
Like,
Okay.
I mean, cutscene.
Jax, wake up.
No.
Wait, this is a misunderstanding.
Don't try it, lady. Things have changed.
Oh, great. Now he gets possessed.
Well, you know, it's not Hal's first time being evil and
And
possessed.
she gets possessed too. It's a possession quest, everyone.
Wonderful!
Yeah, you remember that we mentioned at the beginning that this is an alternate sequel to MK3 or MK2, which meant that Johnny Cage was dead at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's how we know that it's an alternate sequel to MK3.
It still has a very small roster on both sides, which again, for crossovers like these, that tries to have this kind of story with high stakes, creates a lot of continuity logistics instead. Where were these characters? You know what they were doing? Did they got killed in the meantime and stuff like that? You know? For the MK side, it makes more sense because again, like Johnny Cage, some characters were dead around this point anyway. You know, but what happened, for example, to the Linkway cyborgs? You know, what happened to Reptile? Poor bastard.
Wasn't Reptile dead at this point? Or
Reptile
at least he was in hiding, I think.
Reptile keeps mutating, hibernating, dying, and coming back all the time. So.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say Reptar. I'm like, what?
No.
No, Dej. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl does not have a story mode.
Ah.
Alright, let's see if I can actually reason.
Green Lantern, am I glad to see you?
There's Billy.
How you feeling?
I won't attack you, Green Lantern. I think I finally have the rage under control.
You
It's all
do?
coming from this other universe trying to merge with ours. Its energy creates this terrible fury. You just want to hit something.
That's what the Guardian said. How did you figure it out?
Their alien gods are creating
I read the
interference with my
script.
powers and infecting me with their combat rage.
Great.
I will admit, this does remind me of that, oh God, I forget which Avengers show that was.
Until this is stopped. I have to go back to the Rock of Eternity.
Basically, there was this Avengers show where there's this episode where, basically, all the other Avengers ended up becoming Hulks, and Hulk has to get them through anger management counseling. And then Hulk has to do some self-reflecting when he
great,
sees how annoying it is to deal with him when he's like that.
Now it's Billy's time.
Hey, Raiden.
Yeah, you know, this is a fitting matchup. Thunder versus Thunder.
This is not for you. Listen to me. Your presence here places my world in great danger.
It is you who does not belong.
Jesus, he looks
I am
sinister with
Raiden,
that.
God of Thunder. Ethereal power courses through this place, yet it is unfamiliar. Tell me, for what purpose does this place exist?
This is a focal point.
For me to
Yeah,
live
it's a
in.
long story. Regulates the 7 deadly sins and occasionally killer caterpillars from outer space.
I'm
Yeah.
losing control. You're corrupting this place. You have to leave. I will make you leave. Now!
Great transition.
Okay, now I'm reminded of that one edit from Dr. No.
Which one?
Yeah, basically there's a bit where they had to, for some reason, there was some weird edit in the middle of a scene where Connery was talking to a policeman, and it just cut to Bond. It cut from Bond to Bond. It was in the same shot and everything.
I love the irony that some of Captain Marvel's moves are actually named after Greek heroes and gods.
No, there's a pin drawback. The 7-1 that Pedro highlighted at the end, those are the ones that form the acronym of the Shazam Force.
Yeah, of course.
Strength of Hercules.
Yeah, the H stands for Hercules, the M at the end stands for
in the
Mercury.
background right there.
But like Jova said, it's a bit of a pastiche, just in order to make sense for the acronym, because some of the names are instead Greek, but others are taken from the Latin version of those gods. So again, it's a bit of mix and match.
Yeah.
Also, what happened to the music?
I think it's still there.
Yeah, it seems to be present, but it seems more not quiet, but more ambient. Rather than this is supposed to be like this epic fight in the Rock of Eternity. Weird.
There you go, Raiden. You just got beaten by a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
Hope you're proud
Superman
of yourself.
deals with that on a daily basis.
The disturbance is clearing. But for how long?
Because Shazam has beaten Superman more times, apparently.
I have to stop.
Actually, depends because...
Oh, there's the actual Wizard Shazam.
You must stop Dark Khan.
Is that Darkseid?
No, that's a JPEG.
Has been fused with
JPEG of Darkseid.
Doesn't it kind of make Superman look like a jerk that he fights Shazam? Like, dude, he's a kid.
Depends
To
on
be
the
fair, there
depends on the
have been
context.
some
Like
circumstances that call for that.
Kingdom
dude.
Come. Then there are the horrible ones like Distant Fires.
The universes is not severed and Darkseid freed. The rage will reach out and devour us all. You must gather an army of both dark.
Remember when Lex Luthor spent a whole bunch of money on a fake election just to piss off Superman?
Yes, and it was glorious.
This is like, bro.
See?
All that money he could have used. Granted, it's chump change to him, but still.
That's nothing fuels Lex Luthor, but his hate boner for Superman.
Shit!
I know that catchphrase from anywhere.
This place.
So, I heard that you want to make a movie, huh? Where you have to make a deal with us.
This pathetic creature reeks of the gods.
This is what DC had to do in order to get a Shazam movie.
Have Shazam
Drag
Scorpion?
poor Billy into hell.
Yep. No. He had to make a deal with Satan. It's like
He isn't really 15 at this point.
It's like you'll have to make a deal with Satan, all right? To get your movie. Okay. What's the catch? It goes up against Captain Marvel.
Well, people ended up liking it better than Captain Marvel, so
it still manages to sell enough and, be positive received to get, the sequel anyway, regardless of, the Black Adam movie anyway.
But I mean, it's still... Yeah, it got a sequel, like Detective Pikachu, where it's like, no, okay, no.
It's a Netflix show.
That's the thing with Detective Pikachu, Dej. While technically profitable... Basically, the thing with Detective Pikachu, they ended up spending a lot, and the profits weren't as big as they wanted. So.
Because it was sandwiched between Endgame and Aladdin. It's like, man, 2019 was not a good year for anybody that wasn't named Disney.
No.
Except Joker.
Oh yeah, Joker was awesome.
They came out way later in order to gain the profit on its own. But for example, what it's called, Godzilla King of the Monsters also suffered as a result.
At least I got the King Kong movie.
Yeah, versus Kong, and that one was much more profitable. Remember, because of King of the Monster, the legendary MonsterVerse was being questioned, a bit in jeopardy. But apparently, the success of Godzilla vs Kong, is apparently rekindling for new movies, which I'm all for it.
Because that in spite of the pandemic.
Yeah. Remember, it sold a lot, but that's a story for later.
Captain Marvel wins. Now finish him! No, I won't kill.
That delivery.
Your mastery of the supernatural is exceptional. I won't let
seriously, that delivery made me oof as much as Hulk Hogan's delivery of "What am I gonna do for 6 weeks?"
The challenge is not over. Let us see how you fare against the savage fury of Baraka's blades.
Yeah, no, Baraka.
What the hell's with this?
Okay. I'm sorry.
You set Scorpion first, and then I was like, okay, I'll send Baraka.
Baraka is beaten your plan B.
The reason for that, Tips, is because we keep transitioning.
That's pretty much what I was getting at from the get-go here. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, no, Baraka is not a tier above Scorpion.
Like, I know it's for I know it's a transition into the gameplay, but it's still pretty rough. Like characters get flat out cut off for what they're saying.
It gets better for later games on that front, but yeah, you can tell that it was like the first testing.
I have not really seen any bout with the. I have not really seen any bout where the characters get cut off like you suggest, but
not necessarily cut off, but the transition is much smoother in a sense that it doesn't lag, it doesn't freeze.
No, Tia. I'm referring to Wibbs' thing suggesting that they get cut off here. I've not noticed any bout where they get cut off here. I mean, again, I do agree though that the transitions did get better in Injustice.
I mean, hopefully now that the new consoles have SSDs. Hopefully, from Injustice 3 and Mortal Kombat 12, they'll be able to... Hold on.
Oh, the transitions are already much more sublime.
So now we fight Shang Tsung.
Never have been champion of Mortal Kombat. In the end,
there we go.
Faced Shang Tsung.
So we get a mini abridged version of MK1 starring poor Billy Batson.
Oh, I get that.
You know, this would be cool if in canon Billy actually played Mortal Kombat 1, because this would really be a kid reliving the dream.
You just know that this is like a story that Billy is telling, to someone else trying to impress them.
I get that, Joe, but the thing is, even MK11's cutscenes are pre-rendered, again, to hide the loading. But now, hopefully, that the new consoles have SSDs, hopefully for Justice 3 and MK12, they're able to finally abandon the pre-rendered format and just have everything be seamless and in-game. Because
I'd say as long as they can at least mask it as well as they did in, say, like, Injustice, then that would be good. But I can agree that would be the dream, though, to get it to that point.
Anyway, to mention quickly, Godzilla vs. Kong had a budget of $155 to $200 million, grossed $467.8 despite the pandemic and the competition, which meant that the most recent news in August of this year, 2021, writer Mark Borenstein stated that we saw new interesting installment coming in the Monsterverse due to the success of the movie. So yeah.
I do wonder, what could they do to top Godzilla vs. Kong, all things considered?
There's plenty, Jova, believe me. Anyway.
You know, I feel like they used Mecha Godzilla too early. It should have been. I thought they were going to do Mecha Ghidorah.
Nah, I can tell you more later. Oh, goodbye.
Quan Chi said the Netherrealm would drain him, but even here we could not defeat him.
Yeah, apparently Billy is the MVP in this fucking game.
We must return to Quan Chi.
Well, of course he is. He's Shazam, after all. And then Ed Boon realized this and decides to kill him off. And Ed Boon realized this and decides to make him the Yamcha of Injustice.
Finally, one of the heroes is doing something about these invaders. Did you win?
What are you and your criminal buddies doing, Luther?
Unlike the rest of the long underwear crowd.
The long underwear crowd.
Kill him now?
Don't even think about it, Joker.
Okay, Pedro, since you read a lot of DC, how come Shazam killed the Joker?
Well, I haven't read in years though, so I'm not entirely. Well, what do you want to know exactly?
No, like Joker's like, can we kill him now? It's like, how Joker could have to kill
I got this bit.
Is called Dark Khan.
Ha! You.
We did it. We can go home. They reference.
Yeah, I'm with late on this one. Shut the fuck up.
I did see that scene actually years ago.
It's one of the more memorable moments of this story mode. Yeah.
I'll give.
To answer you, I'm pretty sure Joker was talking to the others, maybe Lex Luthor doing something involving.
Also, I think the Joker toxin can work on Billy.
It can. Like, there are multiple ways Joker can, and God, in some else worlds, has killed Shazam.
Dark energies from the world merge. We can't fight among ourselves.
Also, Dej, in regards to comics, like, you know, feel free to ask us all. Wow. I guess.
Except
except for Dwibs.
Also, thanks for these collective headshots. Like, what was that?
Well, people keep talking about them in Batman and Robin.
No, but
yeah, you see, it's a crap. I forgot his name. Who directed those movies?
Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, it's a Joe Schumacher.
Yeah.
Come on, we'll kill things.
But he said Joel Schumacher.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Catwoman, you're with me.
So yeah, the villains are actually splitting up. Joker and Deathstroke will go one way, the Catwoman and Lex Luthor another.
So yes, we have to work together.
Because we're DC heroes? Yeah, it doesn't work.
DC hero.
No, stop.
I'll admit, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just right, Dwibs. Like, I mean, that song is way awesome. It needs to be saved for just the right moment.
So yeah, the next chapter instead is actually probably one of the more remembered because it's finally the Joker time.
Oh, yes. I swear, if there's one thing every fighting game with him has managed, it's that the Joker always has them standout moments.
Yeah.
It's because he's the most...
Even Justin 2, he has literally just a cameo hallucination in the story mode, and yet it's actually one of the more memorable parts.
It's because he's the most fun that they have. They like to write.
Flower for the pretty lady.
Get the hell away from me, you.
Yeah.
Portal.
I was going for the eyes.
I'm seeing a product with Escato actually defending Sonya Blade. What the fuck is going on?
That's how you know the world is really in some deep crap.
It's because Kano needs her.
Where we are.
And
Now
also
we're in
because
the
Kano wants to kill her himself.
Now we're on the Lantern Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, the Green Lantern base.
You don't think like a girl. Can't we talk about this?
Oh, and Pedro, who is your favorite character to play as in this game? If I haven't asked.
Wonder Woman, I
He
already
mentioned a
said.
couple of, I think he mentioned a
He
couple of
mentioned
parts
Wonder
ago.
Woman. No.
But I don't remember if Deji was in that or not.
Nor his mother. Oh yeah, Joker has the counters.
Joey
in
Bowser.
these.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
They should put him in multiverses and have that as a counter move.
Deji, what
He
are you
is-
talking about? That game doesn't exist.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want this.
It's a shame.
Taken down.
It's a shame about the limitations that NetherRealm is when it comes to making these games, because I would totally love for a move with the Joker where he slams a pencil on someone's eye as a
well,
not necessarily as a fatality, but it could be
say-
it could serve as an X-ray
say-
move, you know.
I'll just say this, Pedro. It's not a pencil, but you may like a lot of his toolkit for Injustice.
Not even that, Joe. MK11, because it allows you to be more violent, allows you to have very different moves, including a not even a soft puppet, but being a Scarface clone, like puppet with a gun inside with the shape of actually Batman, that he uses for some of his moves.
His friendship is funny because he's about to shoot someone and then the batarang is thrown out. He's like, "What? It was a joke. I was gonna kill him." Like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I beat her.
Joker, what are you doing?
I won! I mean, of course I won! Since when can you fight?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's me.
To be fair, okay, one thing a lot of writers tend to forget is that for as weird as Joker is, he actually can fight. I mean, sure, he fights dirty, but he
But
has
he's
been
not
able
on
to
the same scale as.
It also depends on the writer. Some says that it was the chemicals will give you a bit more extra strength. Other, that he was already, talented on his own. I've noticed also in the long Halloween that he manages to hold his hand cannon properly, which means a lot of strength in the arms.
I will say this, my favorite take has always been how he plays in Arkham Asylum. Oh, what's that, my fellow viewer, you're probably wondering? Joker's not playable in Arkham Asylum. Well, actually he is! On the Sony and in
exclusively on
some...
PS3.
Okay, hold on. I think for the Return to Arkham versions that went on PS4 and other titles, they had all the content, including what was the Joker maps.
Basically, yeah, how Joker plays in Arkham Asylum is probably my favorite interpretation of how he could potentially go toe-to-toe with Batman. Maybe not be at the same skill level, but by God, he has just the right amount of unpredictability, gadgets, speed, and agility to be able to catch even Batman off guard.
There's also a small section in Batman Arkham Origin that you get to fight with him where the Joker recounts his origin story to Harley Quinn. So there is
Harley
that.
Quinzel at the time, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Again, Arkham Origins trying to abridge so many things at the same time. But at the very least, when it comes to homaging stuff like Killing Joke, they managed to get things right for the most part.
Is
I just know that
sad?
people are annoyed that the Joker hijacked the plot. Like,
Is
really?
it? And yet, you know what's sad, guys? We didn't know how good we had it with Origins, because after that came Night, which really had Joker hijack things to high heaven.
It's like, look, Joker is cool, okay? But it's like he should
he had his own
end
movie
all
about it.
be all.
I think I can reactivate it.
Slade, didn't your mother told you to not touch strange devices?
Oh, sorry. You just reminded me, Tio. That was that bit from Teen Titans Go movie. Every time he said Slade.
don't care what happens to the world.
I need to still watch that.
Oh
movie.
my god, Joker was Princess Elise the whole time!
Oh no!
You know what? You know what? That makes just enough messed up sense.
You see, Sonic, I live in a society that my father created.
I used to think You see, Sonic. You see,
I'm
Sonic.
a gamer,
You may wonder.
even though I wanted to be a Veronica.
Hey, you know, Sonic. There's a reason I've never cried. I used to think my life was a tragedy when my father died, but now I realize it's a comedy. Elise, do you not realize how messed
so
up...
who wants to be the one to commission Kitsune to draw at least as the Joker?
I'll admit that is very, very tempting. Unfortunately, I just made a huge purchase with a new laptop, so...
Also, how huge are the cards that the Joker is throwing in this game? Jesus.
It varies. Believe it or not, Theo, there was an era where Joker had these growing and shrinking cards, so maybe this is an homage to that.
Could be.
Pedro zoning.
I forgot, did the Joker ever team up with the Royal Flush Gang?
Zoning.
I'm zoning? I don't...
Yeah,
Zoning, you know, it means like you're spamming the projectile attacks to keep your distance.
Oh, you mean...
That's quite bold that Deathstroke has.
Isn't that spam? More like spamming.
They animate that.
Well, this fighting term is specifically called.
So now Joker is going to fulfill his greatest dream ever.
And
Not to mention...
And to answer your question, Tio, yes, he did team up with the Royal Flush Gang in Justice League.
Not to mention...
No. That's it. He didn't just team up with them. He basically formed them in that continuity.
Yeah.
Not to mention Dej. I'm not to mention Dej. I'm playing as the Joker. I'm getting into character.
Joker tends to range from if he'll do zone stuff or close quarters combat. That said, yeah, I would not put it past Joker to absolutely be a zoner.
I don't have time for this.
Alright, everybody, here it is. The Joker.
The rematch. This time it's the Joker versus Batman.
There you go. Now it's payback time, Bats. The interesting thing is that in the DC campaign, Batman is yet another difficulty spike.
I mean,
Makes
these
sense.
Batman.
I wonder why.
I mean, to be fair, Dej, Batman has trained for moments like this, so fair beans. I mean, look, there's a reason Batman is part of the Trinity.
Batman's the greatest superpower. I'm rich. That's still the best part about the Justice League movie.
Yeah, that's very true. Honestly, I find that joke much better than the Flash ones, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I first watched the Snyder Cut, I was genuinely surprised that all of those really Whedon-esque jokes from the Flash were those were actually original Chris Terrio jokes? Huh.
Okay, so are we absolutely certain that, all of that stuff was stuff on the Snyder Cut?
Oh yeah, so Zack Snyder was very clear, Joe, but Zack Snyder specifically said that he didn't use a single frame from Whedon's footage.
Trust me, you can tell which one is...
I'm like,
there was even one that we know that apparently was Joss Whedon, is the scene where Flash, falls on top of Wonder Woman.
Yeah. It's like unlike Whedon. Sorry.
Gal Gadot actually realized that Joss Whedon threatened her career. She didn't go.
Unlike Richard Donner, Snyder actually had the luxury of actually finishing his entire shooting, so he had all the footage. He just needed to finish it. Unlike with Donner, where he didn't actually finish shooting everything, which is why he was forced to use Lester footage, even though he didn't want to, but he was forced to. There was no actual way around it, sadly.
I will say that our eventual Justice League Generations commentary is going to be quite an interesting dot to go for now that we know a lot of icky stuff that went behind the scenes on that.
Batman is dead and the Joker is won.
Wow.
Oh, of course.
Fun time is over. You can't rage if you're out cold.
Bat dick.
Joker doesn't even get a win over Batman properly.
Joker's been exposed to the planetary merger and the power went to his head.
Sorry, there's this mandate. We can't have Batman look bad under any circumstance.
I
just laughs at your
completely
face.
believe it was actually a mandate. Batman cannot appear in a position of vulnerability.
Except Except, you know, he did because Joker literally beat him. And also, like Dead said, yeah, Injustice laughs at that.
Which one?
The first.
Yeah, the first one.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
Hopefully, we'll be able to figure out exactly. And now that the Joker's been stopped, let's see if we can stop the other DC villains from wreaking havoc. See you then.
Provided the odd man needed not to lose.
See ya.
See ya.